Hey guys, it's Kelly Ray. I just wanted to jump on today and talk about your gigantic to-do list. As usual, I tend to see a common theme in my coaching days, and today was no different. I had 4 business owners and actually a friend and myself experiencing the same sort of frustration and I guess you'd call it low vibey day from just having so many things to do. And that tends to be sort of a common theme in coaching, unfortunately, because when you come see me, you might already have a lot of things to do, and I help you identify priorities and come up with more things to do, things to fix, things to improve, things to work on in your business. So it's a pretty common theme that, especially at the beginning of coaching, people are overwhelmed and they think I have so many things to do. What should I do first? Or just there's so many things to do, I'll never get it done. And so I want to talk about the idea of taking your gigantic to-do list and chopping it up and getting rid of 80% of it. I actually discovered this when I was running a company for someone else back in my management career before I was a business owner. And the business owner was asking me to do so many things that one day I filled a wall-sized whiteboard with all of the things that they wanted done. It was like in the next week. And I was able to show them, the thousands of things they wanted done and ask them to circle, 20% of it, like the things I actually had time to do. And when we put it up like that, we were able to realize that only about 1/5 of those things were really, really going to move the needle and were really going to help us achieve the objectives that were most important to us. So I think that was the first time that I realized how powerful that was, sort of chopping your to-do list down like that. And then I know that I learned, I think it was Brendon Burchard, or I want to say Tony Robbins, in one of their courses, I learned about, writing out absolutely everything that you're working on and then taking the top 20% that will produce 80% of your results. And you've all heard of the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, where 80% of your results or 80% of your effects are coming from 20% of the causes, right? So this is the exact same thing. So I want you to take all the things you're working on, all the things that you think you have to do, and you can do this in your personal life or in your business, or, compartmentalize it even more and say, in the HR department, here's the things we're working on. In the marketing department, here's the things we're working on. And you can get a good look at that big, long list of things, and you're going to realize that only 1/5 of those things should be your immediate priority, because the other 80% aren't really moving the needle for you. So why waste your time? Why scatter yourself amongst so many different things? Why waste your brain power, your focus? And why cause yourself overwhelmedness? I better look that up after this. But you don't have to do that to yourself, because like I said, only 20% of those things are things you need to be focusing on. So do yourself a favor. I love notebooks. I also love this color, in case you haven't noticed. It's my lucky color. And just write it all out. So here's all the things I'm working on. And I'm just thinking of one client in particular from today. I know that one of their most important things right now to figure out has to do with clear roles and clear goals. And so they just need to look at their list, and there's going to be about 20% of it that they really need to work on this week, and they'll get those things done this week, and they'll have one of their major challenges solved, and then on to the next thing. So I know this is helpful. I really hope you implement this. Take the time to write out everything that you're working on. Actually, one of my other clients used her last month's calendar and wrote out everything that was in her calendar. It took her a while. I could tell. It took a lot of effort. I appreciate you if you're watching. And then once it was printed out, she and her husband, actually their business partners, were able to highlight the 20% that really moved the needle or really meant something to them or were really important. And it was amazing to see, like 80% of all the stuff she had spent her month on, she didn't need to do. She could either just not do it, cross it out, or delete it, or put it onto a list for later. So take a look at your to-do list, take a look at all the things that you've committed to and decide which 20% is really going to produce the most results for you. Because that whole gigantic to-do list, 80% of it is not priority, and it's not going to move the needle for you. So I hope that helps, and I hope you guys are having an awesome week.